Yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there, pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
And welcome back to the Green White Checkered podcast. I am Andrew. I'm joined with Austin, Joe, and Zach. And we got a little bit of Darlington stuff to talk about. The Lady in Black, great race again. Just another banger, mile and a half. I mean, we've been talking about it. Great section of the schedule. Just a great race. Zach, how did you feel about the race?
It was pretty good. I think this is like a thing where stages kind of ruin it for me, because I think it would have been cool to see like a longer run on the tires, seeing the tire fall off and all that. What were stages, like 80 laps or something like that? The first two, it's like they just split it. So like I think, and just thinking about that more, I think we're talking about how we want to see tire wear and all that. It's like maybe the stages are preventing us from getting to that point, because like everybody just pits halfway through the stage. So they only ever have like a 40 lap run on tires. Whereas if you don't have stages, maybe you run 60, 70 laps and we really see some fall off. So it did kind of stink. But you did see tires make a difference, as you always do at Darlington. It's one of the reasons why we love it. You saw, I forget who it was, but somebody had tires and somebody was staying out long and they just blew by him. I think it was like 2 seconds or something like that. Something crazy from new tires to like before they pit. And you did see some interesting strategies too. Like, who was it? Bubba and Blaney, I think, in that first stage that stayed out and ran really long, and then they were able to come back up to the field. I think they both netted. It was net gain for both of them. I think they're both running like high teens maybe before that, and then finished like, pretty sure they both finished top 10 in that first stage. So it was pretty cool. The finish was awesome. That was good. Glad to see Brad get a win, especially in that Castrol paint scheme. I ordered that die cast. So it's cool to see him get a win. I've never really been a huge Brad fan, but just I respect him going in and being an owner in the sport and like reinvesting in the sport. So you can't hate a guy for that. And I thought it was cool to see him finally get a win for his team, a points win, because I think he won a clash or something, or not a clash.
One
of the duels or something. Yeah. So it was cool to see him get a win, and that battle at the end with him, Busher, and Reddick was pretty friggin' awesome too. So
yeah, it was.
Yep. So how did you feel about the first and second stage as far as the racing goes?
They're mid. I mean, they're Darlington, right? I mean, I shouldn't say they're mid. That's the wrong way to say it. But it's Darlington. Like, Darlington's not like a Kansas where you're running multiple lines and having a bunch of different stuff going on. Darlington is, it's like a Monaco for Formula One. Like, it's one lane, but it's very difficult, and it really challenges the drivers.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a good race, but like in sort of like a different sort of way than like, a bunch of passing and all that kind of stuff, because that just doesn't really happen. But it's just seeing these guys really work for it. And, we complain about how sometimes this car seems too easy to drive and stuff like that. There's no handouts at Darlington. You got to earn it. So it's cool. I always like Darlington.
Yep. Austin, how do you feel about the race?
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar sentiments to Zach there, I think. It's one of the races we go in with high expectations and then are not disappointed by them. I've talked about a good bit recently about expectations kind of setting the standard for some of these races where we go into a race and be like, this is going to be horrible. And then it's still bad, but we're like, oh, that was pretty good. I don't know what mile and a half track we were at, Andrew, but said we were at a mile and a half. So I don't know where that was, but the mile and a mile and a third track Darlington was put on a good show.
Anything over a mile there.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. But no, it was good. I mean, we got the, like Zach said, it's not going to be a bunch of constant door banging side by side action, but it's still guys working each other down. It's tough. tough to pass, but I don't think that's a unique thing for this car with Darlington. I think Ty gives me some kind of, it was hard to pass today. It's like,
Yeah.
always hard
It's-
to pass.
Yeah.
Like, it's Darlington.
Darlington.
Like, what, I don't know. Like, you can say it's hard to pass at Charlotte, and people are going to be like, oh man, this car. But I mean, come on, Ty, it's Darlington. Like, calm down. So, you got to work that much harder to pass a guy. I don't know. I thought it was interesting too, because they asked Terry when he's in the booth, where it was like, do you feel like it's still that same homage of Darlington where you're not racing the cars, or like you're not racing their drivers? Like if someone gets alongside you just kind of let them go. Talking about how that's not really, they felt like it wasn't as much of a thing anymore, but I still feel like there's some element of that. And I don't hate that it's not necessarily like that anymore, but I don't know. Overall, thought it was a great race. Complete with a good finish. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up.
Joe, same
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much same. And especially, that like the second to last restart, when it was how many laps? 3 or 4 laps for I think it was Busher and Reddick were just side by side going on the track.
Brad.
Or Brad, yeah, sorry. And then Busher made that crazy crossover to almost the freaking wall on the front stretch. Like that's what you want to see, right? Because like we said, Darlington is pretty much a 1-lane track, and usually some guy's gonna have to lift if you're side by side. But I think it was Brad that was on the inside. He just footing it, and and they battled it out for however many laps it was, and Busher made that crazy move. So it's Darlington. We expected a good race, and we got a good race.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was a great battle in stage 3 between Brad and Reddick, and then Busher comes up, and that was a hard bump draft on his teammate there, Brad.
Yeah.
And then eventually he's just like, you know what, I've had enough. Brad puts Reddick into the wall a little bit, slows them both down, and 3 wide pass for the lead. I mean, it was just an exciting race. Stage 3. Stage 1 and 2, it's Darlington, right? You got the minor, Darlington stripes going on. Kyle Busch is in the wall every lap, and it's just, I don't know. Stage 2, it kind of was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is getting boring. Come on, let's see some action, some passing. But overall, no, I thought it was a great race. Couldn't complain. Let's see. How do you guys feel about the Blaney and Byron incident, though?
Memorial Day weekend at the Blaney household might be a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't think I only caught really the second half of the race because I was at the golf tournament, but I saw the highlight. That's just Blaney just like went up and like whacked him. I keep saying that word. Dang it.
Yeah.
Like went and doored him off of pit road. I'm like, what the hell happened there? And Byron, and I think I saw the replay, and like Byron didn't like do anything that egregious, I thought, but I don't know.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
flaming Joey Logano for like 9 months after the Byron thing. I mean, it was, I don't know, he threw it in 3 wide in a corner where there's really only 1 lane on exit.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't blame Byron. I'm not mad at Byron for doing it, but I mean, he definitely was at fault for it.
Yeah, I
gotta
wasn't
hold it
saying. I'm not
down.
saying he's a saint, but yeah. Okay.
And he comes up and like, I don't know. It's just he put them guys in a really bad situation. It's like, is that a little early to be doing that?
100%.
Maybe. I'd say so. So, it's whatever. It's racing. Like Byron obviously didn't just go in there and say, fuck you guys, but at the same time he kind of did. So, whatever. Blaney's right to be mad. He's funny when he gets mad though. He gets mad.
Oh yeah,
He
gets
does.
mad.
He's like me in iRacing. Like
The
the
angriest
littlest
guy
thing happens, and it's like he gets mad, starts cussing, like, I'm gonna wreck this fucker, and all this
That's
stuff.
so funny.
Like
He
that's
is.
him. It's 100% him. But what was it? He said he was gonna kill those 2, which I think he was referring to Byron and Truex, which nothing on Truex there at all.
I know,
It was
right?
just
He was
Byron
just
threw
there.
it 3 wide, came up, and led to an accident. And it ruined Blaney and Truex's days. So, but I don't know, a little too early to be racing that hard, especially at Darlington. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. RFK, they showed up. You had them qualify. I think it was second and third, which they usually don't qualify well, especially Brad. Brad's usually a 20th-ish place qualifier, and they showed speed all day. And not only that, you had, other Fords. You had Barry end up finishing third. You had Justin Haley. Where did he finish? Ninth? Something like that. Just phenomenal runs for some Fords.
And a Rick Ware car. Let's make sure we know that.
Does Rick Ware have an alliance with RFK?
Yes, it's an RFK car.
Okay, so it's an RFK car. Yeah.
Yes. So the whole thing about everybody like shitting on Haley going to Rick Ware Racing, Brad has come out and said that he is the one that told him to go there. It's an RFK car. He's racing for RFK. So Haley could move to, a car if they ended up getting a charter or something like that. Especially taking that car. It's still a Rick Ware pit crew, all that stuff. So
and considering where Colleague's running now, I think everybody owes Haley an apology for the criticism.
I know.
Colleague last year.
You saw
what are you doing? Yeah, Colleagues and
yeah. Good Lord, they are
terrible shape.
You mean the new track house?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that rumor they got floated out there. Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be an interesting merger for sure. I wonder
to see who stays, if anybody.
I didn't really read would all of Collie go or like just a charter or two?
No, it's a merger. They become one.
Wow.
Like even in Xfinity?
Yeah,
no.
That was my thing.
I think it's just the Cup. I think it's just Cup.
Okay. That was my question. Yeah.
I could be wrong. But I know for Cup, that's what it is.
Dang.
But so we talked about the awesome racing between Brad, Reddick, and Buescher. Eventually, Reddick gets free from Brad and chases down Buescher. And then he makes a questionable pass or attempt at a slide job, slides up, and takes them both out, basically. Reddick cuts a tire, and then Buescher, half lap later, cuts a tire. Needless to say, Buescher was not happy after the race, confronted Reddick. How are you guys feeling about this? Like, as a Reddick fan, I know how I feel, but Austin, how are you feeling?
I mean, I think that I don't know. I think we talked a little bit about it before, where it's like people can be mad at Reddick all they want. We got to be mad at every other driver that's done anything like that at all ever. I mean, you're going for the win. He made a mistake. I mean, Buescher has every right to be mad, especially second week in a row, being that close to a win and not getting one. I thought Reddick handled it really well, as he normally does, like very apologetic, like acknowledged that he messed up and everything, just kind of took it. Because he was definitely in the wrong there, but I don't blame him for going for that move. I don't know. I thought I thought everything was handled well about it, to be honest.
Yeah. Pete Pistone, or whatever the hell his name is, Pistol Pete on Twitter.
I'm blocked by him.
Are you?
I'm blocked by him and Moody now.
Nice.
Boy.
He feels the other way. He feels like it's Buescher's fault because Buescher got in the wall first.
He did. Yeah.
Dude, that guy.
But he did it because he's trying to get away from Reddick.
Right. It's not like, I mean, but benefit of the doubt here, I guess. Was it to get away from Reddick, or it was he entering the corner too quick to not let Reddick clear?
It could have
try
been.
to keep the hole plugged, and then that's why Reddick didn't clear him into the corner and is eventually sliding up into him. But yeah, I mean, he was in the wall first, but was it one of those two things where he was accelerating too quick? But also, either way, I don't. Well,
Reddick came up and hit him, like no matter what.
Right.
Reddick lost the back end, slid up.
So, I mean, he was in the wall whenever Reddick hit him, right?
Yeah.
Which again that's not a dig at
it's
Buescher's
Darlington.
thing. Right. It's not a dig at Buescher's thing. That was he was already in the wall. I'm saying, like, had he not been in the wall, he would have been hit even harder because he got all the way up to where he hit him already in the wall. So I don't know. I mean, you could make the argument that Buescher made that move, or like he accelerated too quick in the corner to keep the hole plugged. But again, I don't think that's his fault. That's just racing, especially at Darlington. So I don't know. Dumb take to say it's Buescher's fault for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I said it was the bad take of the day because I still believe it is. I'm a Reddick fan. I still think he made a mistake. Obviously, he even owned up to it. watching Twitter the last couple of days, like, oh, typical Reddick. When the hell has Reddick ever done that at all?
It's because he's a Toyota
Oh my
driver.
God.
Everybody loves to just rip on Toyota driver for whatever reason, which we'll get into it later, but I hope Honda's ready for this. But it's for whatever. Like, I mean, we literally saw Kyle Larson full on door Chris Buescher, like just slam the shit out of him, coming for the win. So, like, how is this any different? In my mind, what Reddick did isn't as bad as what Larson did, just because like Reddick's just sending it in, trying to clear, like he's just racing, and it just didn't stick. Whereas Larson made an intentional move to go down and knock Buescher out of the way. So it's just racing. Like, do we want guys to send it or not? Like, isn't that what we love about
Right.
NASCAR? Is like just that fucking let's go move and see what happens, and hopefully it works. And when it does, great. When it doesn't, whoops.
Yep.
And like you guys said, Reddick handled it very well. He came out, and I think Buescher was ready to pop him in the face, but then Reddick's like, that was totally me. He owned it. And I don't know. What do you want?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it just is what it is. I do think maybe if we have more horsepower, I think Reddick does clear him, because I think there's slower corner speed, so maybe he can send it in there further and drive it in deeper, and Buescher has to get on brakes more or whatever. Or maybe he's able to throttle it up and actually spin the car out. 'Cause I do think if Reddick had the ability to spin it out rather than hit Buescher, I think he probably would have tried that. Because I mean, he's like, I don't, because he said to Chris, he's like, I don't care about my car. I didn't want to wreck you.
Mhm.
So I think had he been able to just, pop the throttle and goose it and spin it around, I think he probably would have.
Yeah.
But it's whatever. Like, it's racing. Like, I don't. What do we want? Formula One style racing, or do we not? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
and stuff's just gonna happen sometimes with NASCAR. It's a contact sport, and that's why we love it. So whatever. There was nothing malicious there. I don't have a problem with it. Joey Logano's moved. I was joking about Joe earlier, but Joey Logano's move in 2022. I do have more of a problem with that, because he shoved Byron into the wall and kind of ruined his race.
Plenty of time to pass him cleanly, and he just sends him.
Well, I mean, you could make that argument for Reddick too, because there was still like
Right.
10 laps to go.
Yeah.
It was just like it was a full intentional shot on Byron. Like, it was just like a different thing. Like, it wasn't racing. Like, Reddick was racing, kind of thing. So, whatever. Shit happens, man. Deal with it.
Yep. And I've seen some stuff floating around saying that Buescher's a crybaby. Man, you got to feel for Buescher. He lost last week by 1,000th of a second.
Right.
And then this week, he has a great shot at winning again. I don't think he would have had it if Reddick, took his time. Reddick was the fastest car at the point. Like, the whole race, it was Larson, Reddick. And then Larson ends up having tire issues after he hit the wall, bent the toe link. But I think if Reddick waited a lap or two, he probably could have got him. I know Reddick said he sent it trying to pass him because of dirty air, and he didn't want to sit behind him and just get stuck. So, I mean, I understand, but I don't know. I think Reddick could have got him. And then Buescher obviously should have had a great finish, and he ends up, I think, 30th or 31st. So you feel bad for him. It'll come. Like,
They're showing consistent speed,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which you got, again, never been a Brad fan. Like, I think Zach was saying earlier, I've never really wanted to support Brad, but at the same time, it's like, it's good to see a team like that doing well, especially if it's better than Penske. So I'm more than happy for other 4 teams succeeding before they are. So what is that, man? I mean, we've got front row running really well. Got RFK obviously running really well. Penske is
Not running well.
there. Yeah, not running well.
Stuart Haas is selling charters. Apparently, it's like, good Lord.
Yeah,
You can make that. I mean, you say that, but I mean, at the end of the day, Penske's the one who won the last 2 championships, and they've been fucking irrelevant for the last 2 seasons for the most part. So
that's true.
That's true. But they wouldn't. Do they even? They don't even have a win yet. They
didn't have a win. Fun fact: I just looked it up. The winner of the last championship, the last 2 years of the championship, got their first win either this weekend or next weekend to Coke 600.
But like 2
Because
years
Joey
ago, they won-
Logano's first win of 2022 was Darlington. Ryan Blaney's first win of 2023 was the Coke 600.
Didn't the non-championship guy, it was like Cindric won the 500 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm saying like other Penske won other races before with the non-championship guys, or like Ford in general. So I don't know, maybe not. I'm
pretty sure I'll have to look at it again. I'm pretty sure Cindric was the only Penske guy to win before Logano. I'm gonna look at it right now. But Joey did
telling you
win
right
the
now,
Clash.
Those guys are cheating in the playoffs. Those cars are cheated up.
Absolutely.
I mean, but so I'm looking at the results here. Obviously, Brad wins. Buescher was fast all day, gets taken out, but you had Barry in third, Briscoe in fifth. You had Justin Haley in ninth, Michael McDowell 10th, then Gregson. So all SHR. Well, I forgot about Priest. You always forget about Priest. The three. Nope. Priest.
Apparently,
Priest
his teammates
finished
forgot about him
17th.
too.
Yeah. Todd Gilliland 15th, Priest 17th, Gralla 18th. And then you hit Cindric at 20th. That's your top Penske car.
Whoa. That's tough.
You got beat by all SHR and all Rick Ware racing cars.
I feel like Stuart Haas has picked it up ever since those charter rumors have been floating around. I feel like because they've been kind of, Gregson
I think
and
Ford figured
Barry.
it out.
Yeah.
So
Sarah.
If you haven't seen the videos that I posted of my interviews at Kansas, I asked Briscoe about them figuring out the Fords, and he kind of alluded to they know what they got and basically just getting there. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, at Kansas, they all started performing better. And then you saw this week, again, everybody's performing better except Penske. So I think Ford's finally figured it out. And I think you got to watch those RFK cars at Charlotte in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know.
To answer your question, Joe, Penske's first win in 2022 was Joey's Darlington win. Their first win in 2023 was Joey at Atlanta, but that's Atlanta Super Speedway. Their first non-Super Speedway was Ryan Blaney in the 600.
Wow. Interesting.
So,
okay.
We're writing them off at the same time. Like they're doing what they've done and won championships. So, sort of I don't know, depending on how you look at the good or bad thing about our format, but you just got to have speed at the right time. And right now, who gives a shit?
Yep. Oh, and I'm talking about Fords. I saw an article and I can't remember who posted it. Apparently Ford is trying a new engine configuration, and that could be why they're performing better. So apparently there is no max horsepower in NASCAR right now, but because of the throttle plate or whatever it is that they put in the engine, tapered spacer, it makes them all equal. So they've changed something with their design that has made them faster.
They've designed a motor that makes 1,500 horsepower and limited to 670. That's what they did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what they did, but it's working. But any other comments on Cup race? I thought it was a great race. What did it end up on the Gluck poll? Anybody know? Last I saw was at like 93.
It was like 92 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit higher than I thought, but
I'm surprised. I think the end really saved it because it was a genuinely good race at the end. Like, I mean, it wasn't like a green white checkered thing. Like, it was a good, what was that last run? Like 30, 40 laps, something like that. It was a 40, good length natural battle. So
92.4% said yes.
92.4. That's a good number.
Number 3 of 14 Darlington races. Number 5 of 102 intermediates. Number 2 of Keselowski wins. Third member of the 90% club this season. First time with back-to-back 90-plus races since March of 22.
What was the other Keselowski win? That would be higher.
2020 Bristol.
Okay.
Which is the 94.9%.
We were super excited to have NASCAR back around then because I think
everything was a good race.
Yeah, we were just like, yes. I'm not saying it wasn't a good race. I'm just saying you gotta take that into account.
Right.
Looking at those 2020 scores.
All right. Xfinity Series. Willie B doing some bushwhacking. Oh, he lasted 3 laps. He's out. Actually, he ended up
got
coming
back to
back
the
and
lead lap,
finishing.
though.
Yeah, he did at the end. 3rd stage, he gets back on it. I think he finished like 15, something like that. Not bad.
Yeah.
He won me some money in DFS, like the worst fucking lineup ever. Like it was awful. I don't remember where it was, but it was like 11th place, 20th, 21st, 30th, and it was like I won money. I'm like, how? But yeah. Deegan, she made it to 46 to go in that Earnhardt throwback. I mean, that's longer than I thought it would be.
She didn't deserve to ride that.
Dude, I am
throwback.
so I'm so mad that Haley Deegan and Austin Dillon have both gotten really cool throwback Earnhardt schemes, and Kyle Busch at RCR has gotten jack shit. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
It is dumb. It is so
I
silly.
want the diecast. Damn it! Like, do they not understand how quick Kyle Busch Earnhardt merch would move? Like,
Dude,
Apparently not. Apparently
that
not.
stuff would fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Just a red Earnhardt number 8 throwback, like Budweiser throwback.
Oh, you could do. Didn't Senior have like
He had a Wrangler one, I think.
No,
Number
I think
8.
he had a number 8 that he ran in like.
Oh, the Busch series.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was that Nova that
That Junior
Junior
restored.
Yeah.
Like, do that. Like, come on.
Yep.
Anyway.
I think a Dale Jr. like Daytona 500 win throwback would be cool, but
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
also throwback weekend. Do it for the fall race, not for Fox.
I know, it's so annoying.
I will say the one thing I did like about Fox, I'll give him a little kudos, is one of the annoying things about the throwback weekends, how not everybody does it. Like it's
Right.
not like an official thing. So, I thought it was kind of funny. Kevin Harvick was like great.
Yeah, he called him out.
Yes,
Yeah, he was
roasting him.
full on calling him out. He
Good.
was like, oh, that's a fail. Try better.
Yeah, or he's like, this is one of the Penske car, like the only Penske car doing a throwback scheme. Like, do better next year, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
So I did enjoy that. I
Tell him.
thought that was funny.
Yeah.
No fun league for Penske. Love them.
But yeah, I agree. I just think
The
the
Southern
Southern
500.
500
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the throwback race, right? Like
It
that
is.
is like
It is.
like it's not just the idea of having throwback schemes, but it's also just like a crown jewel race itself that has history and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, it should be the Southern 500.
I guarantee you it's a Fox thing. Fox is like, oh, we want that.
How do they get
And
all the
then-
cool shit? They're
Yeah.
the worst.
It's because
They
they
just-
probably paid to do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
But-
we'll
They
get to
cancel
it, but
Race Hub.
Yeah.
they did lose 600, so there
Thank
we go.
God.
Rejoice.
Let's hit the Xfinity. Well, yeah, we're already in Xfinity. Yeah, Deegan wreck. Allgaier just dominates. There's a late caution. It's like, oh, this might make it interesting. Nope, he just pulled away one. Easy dub. Good for
Yep.
him. Truck Series. Heim dominating this race, and then there was a late pit stop. Some teams took 2, some took 4 on the restart. Dean Thompson underneath Heim gets loose and causes a big pileup, destroys Heim. A lot of good trucks. Raja, Crafton, just yeah. And then the rest of the race looked like Ford was going to get their first win of the year. Majeski just dominating then from that wreck on, and the late caution happens, and he just blows it on the restart. Doesn't get going. Ross takes the win. Yeah. Oh, and Kyle Busch wrecked early. His second dead
Second lap.
last place finish.
It was like the second lap. I was like, all right, I'm not watching trucks anymore.
That's it. Done.
I turned it right off.
But I mean, it was good racing all 3 series, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Fox was better this week. I thought their announcing, especially for the Xfinity and truck, a lot better. Their coverage of guys that weren't just in the lead was better. They're showing people mid-pack, racing mid-pack. The commercials, they were doing side-by-sides when racing was happening and full screens during cautions. It's like, okay, you figured it out. You listened finally. And they made some adjustments. So that's all fun and games, except they're losing races next year to Amazon and TNT.
Praise the Lord.
Amazon will have the Coke 600. I think that's their first of 5 races.
Yes. That's correct.
which is also when we start the bracket challenge is coming back. And actually,
That's
an
starting then. I thought it
event.
started a little later.
I thought it was TNT's like
I'm still a little confused at the time.
qualifying for it. Yeah, I don't think they've actually announced it. So from what I heard, it was TNT, like their races are the qualifying to get the 32 drivers, like whoever does better in those races, and then it goes to
Oh, so
Amazon.
it's not taking like the season in general.
No,
it's taking. There's a qualifying in period. That might get a little confusing.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, let's be honest, it's 32 drivers out of 38. So
Yeah.
we know who's going to be out, Penske. But
Please.
yeah. And not only that, Fox losing races, but Fox is ending NASCAR Race Hub after their season this year. So June 11th, last day for NASCAR Race Hub. I want to know right off the bat, Austin, do you watch NASCAR Race Hub?
See, this is a tricky question for me.
Have you turned the TV on? Not gone to a bar or somebody's house and it's already on. Do you turn it on? You think about it, Zach. Do you?
I have something interesting going on, but I never liked Race Hub that much. I always preferred NASCAR America. Again, an NBC product. I just prefer their commentators. I prefer their style. I just like NBC better.
Yeah, my thing is that I've very like once or twice I've sat down and been like, oh, Race Hub's on, like nothing else really. I don't watch TV much unless I'm turning it on for something. But every now and then, if I'm turning I'll turn the TV. I'm like, oh, sure, we'll watch Race Hubs in the background. But I've always liked having, I've always liked like having a sports center for NASCAR. It feels like it's given us some kind of legitimacy. But at the same time, never really watched it. I don't know. I maybe if I didn't have Twitter, I'd watch it to kind of keep up with stuff more. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only time I can remember turning it on in the last 3 or 4 years was when Drake and I were on TV for at the Darlington race, and that's the only time I remember ever turning it on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't. The only times I've ever watched it is if there's a rain delay and they're showing a rerun, or it's like on before pre-race, and I have nothing else to watch. I'm not going out of my way to watch NASCAR Race Hub. It's not like back in the day when Speed Channel was around and I'd go and watch, those guys. And I always thought that was hilarious and good coverage. But I don't know. It just didn't hit me. And the only thing that, was decent from NASCAR Race Hub, I thought was Radioactive, which is still going to be around because it's a NASCAR thing, not a Fox thing. So,
I hated the big green screen studio and stuff. Like I never cared for.
Wait till next year.
How it was produced. Like, I mean, that's what I liked about NASCAR America. Is like it was just a couple guys sitting around a small table, just in a little studio. Like it's just like a different vibe. And I don't know. It just seemed. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It just wasn't very good in my opinion. Not like the old days. Like the old days Race Hub was pretty good. I did watch it back then, but yeah, I just think. I think podcasts have sort of taken over. I think, obviously us, we're taking all of the Race Hub.
Right. We killed a Race Hub, actually.
100%.
Yes,
but I mean,
we sure did.
You think about it, you got like Denny Hamlin, you got the Spotter podcast, or you think of them guys. Like you have all these different like genuine opinions coming across. Where like when you watch Race Hub, it's still that sort of walking on eggshells, won't call things exactly how they see them all the time. I feel like, there's like I don't know. It's just like different. It's like, I guess more corporate maybe. I don't know, where you have podcasts that are just genuine and have real opinions, whether they're for NASCAR or against. And I just think that that's more appealing. Plus there's the on-demand aspect. Like I can just listen to a podcast. Like when I was mowing the yard today, I listened to the podcast. That's when I got my NASCAR news. Or like go for a walk or whatever, driving to work, whereas Race Hub, you have to be there at the TV at whatever time it starts.
Right.
I think that hurts it.
Yeah. So there's rumors that they're going to have like a YouTube or Amazon show next season. What do you think about that?
Who, Fox?
Just in general, like NASCAR in general. I think they're going to use their new media center thing that they built.
I won't watch it.
Even if
It'll
it's
be again. It's back to what I was saying about Race Hub and versus podcast and genuine opinions. You're watching NASCAR. You're watching state-run media. Like I can't
Syndicated
stand.
radio. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand Moody and Pete, whatever his name is, because of that, and that's why they blocked him, just because I called him shills. Like I hate that. I hate state-funded media, and I'm just not gonna watch it. So I wish them all the success, but it's just that's not for me.
Do you guys remember Inside Winston Cup back in the day with Alan Bestwick, Kenny Wallace, Michael Waltrip, Ken Schrader? No? God, man, I'm old.
We weren't rich. We couldn't afford cable. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't
Oh, man. It was
big
so
20
good.
channels, then
I think it was on Speed for a while, but
God, I miss Speed.
yeah. No, it was so
I got
good.
a guy, Zach. If you you're talking about
Do
the
you?
channel.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
We'll talk
okay.
after this.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, you had 3 drivers and then Alan Bestwick, who was a great announcer, I don't know.
It's a weird move from Fox, though, right? Like we just have this $7.7 billion TV deal, and then you're just dropping more and more NASCAR coverage. Like it's just kind of like a weird thing. And what I've heard on a couple different podcasts. I think like the Gluck one was one of them that said it. And I thought I saw it on Twitter somewhere or something. But like how Fox is just like overspending like crazy, like on everything, especially this TV deal and all that stuff. So now they're like trying to pull back and do a lot of cost savings and stuff. Which is annoying. Like again, I don't know. I'm sure these contracts are like 800 pages long, but if I'm NASCAR, I would think if I'm allowing you to have coverage of my sport, like I want you to do the best you can to continue to promote it, even outside of just the race itself. Like I would just think there would be certain expectations for you to do, and it just doesn't seem like there are any.
No, like I said, I think Fox is part of the downfall of NASCAR just because their coverage
100%.
has gone downhill and they've given less fucks about it, right? And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, which makes fans in general, even new fans, they turn it on and you just see this boring broadcast and they're like, I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah.
And so it's driving people away. So I'm all for these new, Amazon, TNT, CW coming in because hopefully it's a new, fresh start and it's something better than what we have.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to be better. But everything I've seen Amazon do as far as sports, like their football, they struggled the first couple of times, but it's great coverage now. They got amazing cameras, like the detail, it's 4K or whatever. And then they have like different streams, like the Manning cast and stuff going on, which hopefully we get. That would be amazing. Like, I hate to say it, like the DBC guys or something like that. People that, thanks, Austin. Just something like that. I'm not saying the DBC guys, but I'm saying just like just people shooting the shit, watching the race type deal, but saying what's going on, kind of like the Manning cast. I think that'd be a great move. And I bet they do something like that, but I don't know. I'm excited. And then also Amazon has announced they're going to run mini docs, and they've already said there's a Dale Sr. I think it's 4-episode mini doc.
Yeah, 4
coming out next
4 or
year.
5. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm here for it. I'm interested in what else they'll do because it sounds like this isn't the only one they're doing. And then Jimmy Johnson's joining NBC.
Yeah, I saw that. That's gonna be cool.
Is that a permanent thing or is that just like a?
It's like a few
couple
races.
4
Few
races.
races. Yeah,
That's cool. Old Jimmy Jam up in the booth. That'll be good.
he's doing Indy. I think he's doing the announcer double.
Yeah.
For Indy and Coke too.
Oh, is
this
he?
year.
He's doing both?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. He said like
Or
not
he's-
to hit, he
he's
said
an-
something like not how I wanted to do the double, but I'm doing it anyway. And
He's announcing the 500 and driving in the 600 or something.
Okay.
Oh, that's
What I saw was that
great.
he's broadcasting in the booth for the 500 and then flying to Charlotte to race in the 600.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Like, I would hate to be in an announcer booth all day long and then fly in a plane just to hop in a race car. Like,
I
you want to
doubt
get
he's
in a
actually,
good
like,
mindset.
I actually doubt he's like the in the booth announcer, right? They usually do like a guest guy. Like I think when Dale Jr.'s on there, like he used to do it. And, like he's not on the broadcast the whole time. They kind
Right.
of just go to him and he talks about what he sees, kind of thing. Like
Gotcha.
sitting with like the NASCAR equivalent or like Fox equivalent would be like Chris Myers, where Chris Myers just jumps in and talks for a little bit, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
But yeah, no, he's going to be in the NBC. I think it's Indy for the Brickyard 400. Then it was like Daytona, and I think Talladega or something like that.
Hmm.
So
Phoenix too. Is that? Am I weird on that?
yeah, you're weird, Joe.
Indy 500, Daytona, Talladega, and Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Joe's not weird for it. Joe's correct.
Yeah. All right. And then well, speaking of weird, Joe liked the weird dong video,
Huh?
the Bell video, the private porno 69.
Oh, whatever, dude.
It means something, guys. But
So something.
Elton
something-
Sawyer talks about new engines with the new OEM. Zach, I know you were big on this. I just caught little bits of it.
Boo. So basically, what it sounds like to me is they're opening up the option for like different engines. The new OEM coming in, Honda, doesn't have and doesn't want to make a pushrod V8 engine. So that is a deal breaker for them. So
Too bad.
NASCAR is looking at having different engine options. I don't know if that means we're all going to go to like a dual overhead cam V8 or if we're going to be running V8s, V6 twin turbos. I don't know. Like, are we going to do like an IMSA thing where we're all just running different engine packages? I'm not sure. That's the feeling I got from it, is that that's kind of the direction they want to go, because they're talking about having torque sensors and all this stuff. And it's very annoying to me. I think now, originally, my theory on here was about NASCAR is going to hold 670 horsepower, and then once we get our hybrids, we're going to turn it up to 900, and that's going to be like their selling point and get people to buy into the hybrids, right? That was my theory for a while. Now I think what they're trying to do is basically let these OEMs take their GTP engines from IMSA and put them in Cup. Because why don't you take a guess at how much horsepower a GTP makes in IMSA?
750.
670. Isn't that
So
interesting?
right where we're at.
Right where we're at. Guess who has a GTP engine? Honda. Cadillac. Ford doesn't, but whatever. So I find that interesting, especially with how they've been so hard about the 670 horsepower, not increasing it because it would fuck all that up. So it'll be interesting to see. I got to be honest, I do not like that at all.
I don't know.
I mean, because what we could get into then is we're talking about different engines, different weights, different torque bands, like all this different stuff. And NASCAR is going to have to police that with BOP adjustments. Can you imagine having to talk about that every single week? How annoying that's going to be? Like, I'm a casual IMSA fan, and even from a casual standpoint, the most annoying thing to me is BOP and BOP adjustments. Like, you'll have a car go out and practice, and they'll be really fast. So then there's a BOP adjustment to slow them down, and in the race, they're way slow. Like, that shit would get so old so fast. I also hate the idea of, again, taking another piece of our identity and who we are, and I kind of went on a rant about this a couple weeks ago, and changing for an OEM. Like, it's so annoying to me. Like, we just keep losing who we are a little bit at a time, and I know the engine's outdated, but I don't care. Like, not every motorsport needs to be relevant to what's actually like production cars. I don't believe so. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. It sounds like we could have V8s and V6s and all that stuff running around. I just hope Honda is ready to catch some heat and be absolutely hated. Because I mean, like, people hate Toyota, right? People hated Toyota when they came in, and they actually just played ball with us. They came in at the most expensive part of the sport, most expensive time of the sport, and built the 900 horsepower engine, all that stuff. And people still hated Toyota because they're foreign manufacturer, this, that, the other thing, whatever. Honda's coming in and making us change everything, apparently. So yeah, being the manufacturer that brings in V6s to NASCAR, I don't know if I want to have that reputation.
Right.
But I also heard Volkswagen. I heard the name Volkswagen thrown around, so I don't know
I
if
think
that's a thing.
I think if they did that, I think you'd see a lot more people interested. But uh, I don't know. NASCAR's V8s, man, like
That's it.
loud, thundering noise. Like you can't
Look at
change
the
that
Garage
identity.
56 car. What was the
Yeah,
one thing everybody loved about the
the
Garage 56
sound.
car?
Loud, baby.
Right. That
Yeah.
is NASCAR. NASCAR is just loud. Like that's part of it. So it's I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. I hate it. If there was any one thing that could turn me away from NASCAR, that might be it. I don't know. Like I hate the idea, but we'll have to see how it goes.
I mean, what if that V6 hybrid's pumping out 950 horsepower though? You know what
What
I
if
mean?
it's
Like,
pumping out 670 or less?
but
Yeah.
what if it's not? I'm saying like as the caveat, what if the car's quieter,
That's why I'm
the
saying
V6
we'll
is the
see.
hybrid, and it's
That's why I'm
pumping
saying
out the
we'll see.
horsepower we've been begging for so long.
I don't know that they will. I think they're going to keep them at 670 if they don't drop them more, because I think that comes into a point where Andrews mentioned before. NASCAR likes keeping the cars close. You add horsepower, you're going to create time intervals. You're going to create gaps throughout the field.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it would be an easier pill to swallow if they do say, all right, we're gonna have V6s, but we're going to 1,000 horsepower. Like, okay, I can maybe get on board with that. But just thinking about like losing some V8s, running 670, having to listen to BOP talk all the
Yeah.
time, like that doesn't sound good to me.
Yep. And speaking on this news, did you guys see the Cadillac looking show car that they had at Darlington this week?
No.
Yeah. So there was a NASCAR, and the number was 24 because it's 2024,
Right.
all done up, and then didn't have the logo on it, but it was the Cadillac grill,
Mm.
and everyone's like, "Oh, Cadillac to NASCAR." It's like, no, that's, if anything, it'd be the new Chevy. They'll just brand it like the Chevy SS, and
Cadillac's
Yeah.
what the Cadillac of GMC, right?
Well, they're all under GM. General
Right.
Motors.
it's a GM
So
car.
General Motors owns Chevy, Cadillac.
Right.
So all they have to do is
GMC.
throw a Chevy badge
But I
on,
mean,
like
they
1,000
have-
of them, and technically they can run
Right.
it.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure their car models are pretty similar. To, I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes it
I don't know.
hard.
I don't think they share that much anymore because, I mean,
I'm
Chevy
mainly
doesn't-
thinking like the
they did back in the day. You're 100%
like the
right. for back in
Tahoe
the
and
day.
the like the Tahoe and the
Yeah,
Escalade.
the trucks
Yeah.
do. I don't think many.
But then they
cars
use Corvette motors in them, so or at least they
Yeah.
used to in the
in
Escalade.
the V's they did.
They
yeah.
still do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the dark something?
Right.
Well, and that's so it's kind of interesting because I think maybe they will put Cadillac in NASCAR because like Cadillac's sort of become GM's sport brand. Like I mean,
Yeah.
back in the early
Right.
2000s, like Cadillac went through a huge image change because we all know the old floaty Cadillacs that were driven by 90-year-old dudes and all that. Every senior citizen in South Florida had a Cadillac. And that's when they came out with the CTS. They really went aggressive with trying to change their brand image. So I think Cadillac over the years has sort of morphed into Chevy's performance division in a way, or not Chevy, GM's performance brand. So maybe why not? Why not get rid of the Camaro? I mean, the Camaro's dead anyway.
They're
So what
going
are
to
you going to do?
rebrand it.
Replace it with a
Right.
Malibu? You're going to go back to a Malibu?
Yes.
No, the Chevy SS was just the V8 they took from Australia. They're going to do that.
Well, that
They're
was
gonna,
the Holden. The Holden
Yeah.
Commodore. They just rebadged that. I mean,
that's what they're going to
could.
do. They're going to rebadge this with a Chevy logo, make a small run of it,
maybe.
and run it.
Maybe, but why not run a Cadillac?
Well, because Chevy's their staple.
But if you're not
right?
making any more Chevy cars, why are you going to make a Chevy NASCAR? We're talking about having relevance to the road
the
product,
look.
right?
It's the look.
I don't know.
So we
I
got
don't
some
know.
breaking news, guys.
Breaking.
Sam Mayer has been docked 10 points and crew chief suspended 1 race and fined $10,000 for violating rule that chassis that has had major repair or its certification time had expired must be recertified. I don't know what the fuck that means, but Sam Mayer docked 10 points.
Sounds boring. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Cam Waters runs 60 at Sonoma for RFK. Another Aussie guy. That'll be cool. I had something else I wanted to talk about, and I completely
We've got some really
forgot.
big. We have a really big announcement for the Green White Checkered podcast members here.
Here we go.
Yeah, Joe.
Joe, any
Joe.
any news you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
class?
Oh, yes. So I am now engaged to be married.
Yeah. Let's see the ring,
Congratulations.
Joe. Let's see the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't get one yet. I gotta wait.
Wow.
6
Unbelievable.
months.
In 2024, she didn't get you a
Modern day
ring?
feminism. Jeez.
I
Yeah,
know,
unbelievable.
Come on,
Gosh.
Aaron.
Ugh.
No, but yeah, very exciting. Happened over the weekend. So,
Congrats.
Huge congrats to Joe from all of us
Congratulations,
here.
Joe.
thank you.
Is her name Lindsay?
It is not. It is
We all
not.
Dang it, man. You
know.
gotta go with the theme. Come
Her-
on, jeez.
Her name is Aaron.
We'll have to
not
talk
Chloe.
about,
We can
schedules and
rebrand.
all that.
Yeah. Well, now
Not only
Andrew
is
has
she
to marry
changing her
Aaron.
last name, the
Yeah.
first name's getting changed also.
Andrew has to marry an Aaron now. Then we'll just be two pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't think the old lady would be happy about that. But
Well, she's marrying another guy, so I mean,
yeah. Let's see. Some other big news for Austin here. Michael McDowell to join Spire in 2025.
end of an
Philly
era.
season has begun.
Yeah, that's a kickoff. I have actually just got my whatever race Indianapolis Brickyard
Oh, there you go.
race win
There you go.
diecast
Hell yeah.
a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, definitely shocking news when that came out. So I was a little bit taken aback by that because I mean, he's been in that car for how long now? Like a long time. I know he's on and off. Like he was on FRM for a minute and I think left and came back. But I mean, especially the way he's grown that program, winning the 500 and just like, obviously, winning 2 races with them, like not by rain or fog delay, like straight up winning the races.
Yep.
Is awesome to see that how he's brought that team to grow so much. So, hopefully he can do the same with Spire to help out because they're on the way up. So I think it's a good time for him to join that team. I don't know. It's hard because front row is coming up too. And it's like, all right, so you're jumping from one team that's coming up to another team that's also coming up. But I think also Spire right now, it feels like they have a ton of money to play with. So I think they're going to continue to really improve in the coming years. So I don't hate the move for him. I just hope that it's not a negative move for him because even if he's not on my team, I still like McDowell, obviously. But I don't know, kind of a bummer. But I'm glad he's going to another one of my favorite teams. So we'll take it.
Yeah.
Still an underdog guy to cheer from. If he was going to like Joe Gibbs or something, I'd be like, all right, that's awesome for him. Love it. But now it's still, I kind of like cheering for the middle of the pack guys because I mean, my all-time favorite moment as a NASCAR fan was him winning the 500 and like whisper screaming in my in-laws' living room because it was like 1 a.m. and their room was right next door. But just like stuff like that just makes it so rewarding. Obviously, if you're I like William too, but it's not near the same reaction when William wins a race to whenever Michael's won his races. So, it'll be cool to still have him to pull for in a middle of the pack, hopefully higher up in the pack soon team. But good for him, I guess.
Are
Spire's
we
got
starting
that.
to see
good for him.
like the end of the small teams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I just thinking about like all these, talking about Trackhouse absorbing Colleague. Trackhouse isn't a small team. Front Row Motorsports
Trackhouse is
now a
absorbing
tier
Colleague,
1.
by the way.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. We talked about it before this. So yeah, Trackhouse is taking over Colleague, so that's a thing. Front
Rumored.
Row Motorsports is now a
it's
tier
happening.
1 team. You got Rickrow Racing, who has the RFK Alliance.
Spire with Hendrick.
Spire's basically another Hendrick team, so it's kind of like we're sort
Yeah.
of losing the small teams. Like they don't necessarily. I mean, there's
SHR and FRM going to be one now.
Perhaps, yeah.
who knows what happens there, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. Like we have smaller teams, but I wouldn't really say we have small teams. Not like we did back in the day.
And
Hendrick, Trackhouse, Hendrick, Gibbs, Hendrick,
Yeah.
Gibbs. These are the winners for this year, by the way.
Parity.
Hendrick, Hendrick or not Hendrick, 2311,
2311. Yeah.
Gibbs,
RFK.
Hendrick, RFK.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I mean, there were two very prevalent names on that list. I mean,
But-
I think we're moving away from it. I think that the
I mean,
playing
just
field
because
is-
somebody hits it doesn't mean that they're bigger, though, right? Like they've got something figured out, and maybe now we're talking about RFK might have something figured out with the speed they're showing.
Yeah.
Penske, they're definitely not a small team, but they're nowhere. They're nowhere right now. So it's whether you're fast or not isn't really an indication of being a big or small team. I don't think.
I mean, yeah, but at
To
the same
some
time, that's
degree.
the definition too of, you know, like, yeah, you're moving up in tiers, but you're still not having your car chiefs are still second, third tier. Your crew
Right.
chiefs are second, third tier. Your pit crew second, third tier. You know, I get your point, and I'm, you know, but at the same time, I think we're
You're not
still
having a
gonna
guy
have
building a car in a garage anymore. Like
right,
Yeah.
not
right,
like even like your smaller teams are still
getting
pretty
tons of
big.
funding.
But even like the only remaining one car team is Wood Brothers, and they're basically a fourth Penske car.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's,
still Penske. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
don't
I
know,
think
Yeah, go ahead.
they're basically all. Yeah, there's small teams, but they're something. You know, they're with
have-
another big team.
Yeah. They have their alliances.
They're just a satellite shop, basically. I mean,
Yeah,
BJ
sometimes not even
McLeod
that.
did
Sometimes
the
they're
right
in the
thing.
same shop. Like,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
but,
So
No, I do think to Drake's point, there are caveats to that, like, you know, an FRM, for example, or no, who was it? It might have been Spire. You know, they'll have a pit crew, and if a pit crew guy is doing really good, then old
They
Rick
go up
Hendrick
to
calls up
Hendrick.
and says, "Hey,
yeah,
you know that left front tire changer? He ain't yours anymore." So
right.
to your point, that does still happen, but it's like I don't know, like you don't see that. Like it's just different landscape now, and I just think it's kind of interesting. But I think going back to the Michael McDowell thing, I think what might have made him jump was because I believe he was always on like a year-to-year contract with Front Row.
Yeah,
And I think Spire might have given him like a multi-year deal, so he doesn't have to worry about that
oh,
anymore.
did you guys
Interesting
see
move.
Chase? No, did you guys see Chase Elliott's Coke 600 scheme?
no.
I did see that. Yeah.
Oh, it's blacked out, like camo looking thing. It's not bad.
Mhm.
I'll give it to him. But yeah, no, I think
Chase drew it up himself. Give it to him.
yeah.
Give him all the credit in the world.
All right. Anything else for Darlington? I got one other thing, but I'm gonna make that
Sorry,
our
like-
boomer of the week.
First,
thank
Ford
not Hendrick or Joe
Gibbs.
Gibbs Racing.
24
Not
hours.
Super Speedway, not Hendrick. Joe Gibbs. I can't say this.
Yeah.
The first time another team has won at a non-Super Speedway, other than Hendrick and Joe Gibbs.
Oh
Racing.
yeah, Trackhouse won at Atlanta. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I have a Zoomer of the week, or whatever the younger generation is.
Oh, okay. Well, this is just it's not even a post. It's just something that happened at Darlington that I think we need to talk about.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We had a guy climb the fence. And not only did he climb, he is at the top, like the curved portion of the fence, cheering
how
during the
many-
burnouts
I don't know
for
how many
Brad.
Beers. I don't know how many beers that took for him to do that.
I'd rather
Yeah.
have that than seeing the TV interviewer standing behind him when he's getting out of the car. I'll tell you that.
I
That's
know.
true. That's true. I mean, it made for some good photos. I will give it that. But holy crap. And then you got Clint trying to like draw a picture around the guy and just gets a crew member's ass. It's just like, oh, cool. You circled the butt. But
That's so funny.
that's all I got. What do you got for Zoomer of the week?
So I don't know if it's really Zoomer. I'm just attributing it to them. Basically, it's about Greg Van Alst.
So I
he-
love Greg. You're gonna shit on
he's
Greg?
Smaller ARCA team, right? You've seen. I'm sure you've seen like the paints he's been posting lately. Well, like a little while ago,
We literally just posted a Greg Van Alst picture on our.
did we? That's funny.
Yeah.
But like a little while ago, it was a few weeks ago, I can't remember when. He's a small team. They don't have a lot of money. He was coming up with new paint scheme designs, and he used an AI generator to generate a paint scheme.
Oh.
And all the artsy fartsy people all the creators who are really, really good at creating. I'm not taking a shot at their skill set, but they're all like, you could have done a contest, and done it. He's like, but we don't have a lot of money. Like, I have no money, and I need schemes, I need designs to show sponsors. But like, you could do a contest. You get a million different designs. You could just do it for free. The winner just gets to put their pay in the car, and that's good enough, and stuff like that. And boo AI, we hate AI, and all that stuff. So then a couple weeks later, he does the contest and says, "Here's the paint. Here's what I want you to do. Make this paint, and whoever wins gets to be on the car." And then people are in the comments like, "Well, what do you get? What do you win?"
Yeah.
You get to be on the car. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you could offer some payment for it or whatever." Like, you were just saying,
Bitching the other way
not that it was
around.
the same exact people, but it's just like the funny sentiment of like, and I've seen that comment before, like, "Ooh, boo AI," but then also I don't have a lot of money to pay an artist, so the best I can do is a contest where you get put on my car and get credit for it.
I was
And then
gonna
they're like,
post that in
"Do
our
that."
Discord, and I was gonna say you should do something, but I will say the winning scheme that he picked is pretty good.
Yeah.
Every time I see like paint contest, I think about it, and then I see like the first couple entries, I'm like, nope, I can't do this. Like, I think who the hell is that guy from Camping World? Marcus
Marcus
Lemonis.
Lemonis. Yeah.
Didn't he do one for Overstock? Didn't he do that for Overstock? Somebody did one for
Yeah.
Overstock.com, and somebody tagged me in it. Like, you should do it. And I was scrolling through there like, no, I'm not gonna bother. These are really, really good.
But no, it's funny. So kill count, Willie B, you're getting 2 for Blaney and Truex, and Tyler obviously for Busher. That's it. Everything else is single car, all that fun stuff.
Oh, I got a Darlington question. I got one
Ooh.
Darlington question. One more that I just remembered.
Yep.
I wanted to ask, how do we feel about tracks with such a huge advantage for the number 1 pit stall? Like,
I don't care about it.
You don't care about it?
Qualify
No?
better.
All right.
Yep. If you know it's an advantage, qualify better. That's how I feel about it, but I don't know. It's
His driver who had the number 1 pit stall all day.
But yeah, even the other
I
tracks,
don't like the
I don't
idea.
care.
I think my personal thought is I think the line should be far enough away that you have to get up to pit road speed again. I don't think like you should have to accelerate all the way up to pit road speed and then it ends. I think not having anybody in front of you is a huge advantage because you'll never be blocked in and you can always just pull out. But like the idea of just like essentially just rolling out of the box to cross the line, I'm not a fan of that. But
yeah, I mean that's fair. I agree. It feels kind of weird it being that much of an advantage just to have the first pit stall. Yeah, I think I'm on your side there, Zach.
We've seen where the other ones have an advantage too. Like the last pit stall, the very first one coming into pit road has an advantage because they can, get in there better. I think Denny Hamlin did that at one race and won. And then you also have the ones that are by the openings, so you don't have a car either behind you or in front of you. That's an advantage. So I don't know.
I don't mind a small advantage, like strategically positioning yourself. So again, that first pit stall, you have nothing in front of you, so you can just go straight. That's fine. I just think having the line right in front of the box is a little much. Like, I think you should still have to leave the box and accelerate some.
I mean, he did.
And
it wasn't like it was right there. It was a decent way out.
He just let off the clutch and it rolls, and he's across the line. It's just a little.
You're overreacting to that one.
I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not. It's really good. Now I'm going to look it up. But I think it should at least be consistent. It should at least be consistent from track to track.
Whoa! Breaking news. NASCAR on Reddit reposted a article from the Daily Downforce saying that Stuart Haas's 4 charters are rumored to be headed to Front Row Motorsports and Trackhouse, with SHR keeping their Xfinity team.
Wow. Wait.
Well,
no.
So
Trackhouse is absorbing Colleague. They have 4.
So one of them's wrong.
Right? How many does Colleague have? Does Colleague have 1 full-time charter?
I thought they had 2.
Yeah, so if Trackhouse is absorbing Colleague, now they have 4. They can't have another one.
But isn't Front Row? Didn't they like lease one or something like that a few years ago? I get confused. I'm gonna look that up.
You're missing the very first thing that it says in giant letters: rumor.
True.
Yeah, it's
So
Rumored. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It could happen, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's what I was going to bring
Go
up earlier is we started to get a release of the schedule for next year. We're hearing things about it. Richmond losing a date, being replaced by Mexico, possibly.
Oh, interesting.
Phoenix 2025 playoff championship race again.
super woo.
Yeah. Daytona is going to be the cutoff race for regular season.
That's a good move. I think they only
Yeah.
did it because this year because
The Olympics fucked everything.
screwed everything up.
Yeah.
So it's what I'd said that last year. I hated the move, but I'll give it to him because of the Olympics.
Yep. All right. Survivor. Wow.
Survivor. We
Yeah.
we showed up.
Yikes.
We picked Ford's guys, so we did really well, right?
Yeah, of course.
We did great.
We picked the Penske.
I won with Noah Gregson, who finished 14th.
Nice.
So yeah, we didn't do so hot. So I won, like I said, and then who's second? Drake's
Joey.
second with Joey Logano, who finished 21st. And then Joe had Martin Truex, who finished 25th. And
Nice.
then
Love that.
Andrew had Blaney, who was I
Thanks,
think like
Byron.
the only DNF.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was something. I don't know what the hell happened to Joey because I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna finish second this week. Because I knew Truex wasn't gonna catch Gregson. But
Yeah,
Joey was
I
way
looking
far
at
ahead.
like 6 for a while. I was like, all right, cool. I feel good about my pick. And then
Yeah, he got in the
And all
wall
of a
at
sudden
one
he's behind
point
him.
and bent something.
and then you sent. I was like, oh great, I freaking lost again. He's in like 21st. No, I did not.
Yeah,
No picks
so,
this week.
All-star race.
we do have officially a new leader. I have caught and passed Joe in the Survivor.
Oh,
Survivor.
boo.
I am up by 2 points.
I fell back.
Should we do just a fun pick for this one? Just say who
Yeah.
we think's gonna finish well.
Yeah, I think we did
Oh,
that
man.
Not
last
Sure.
year.
Not it can be a driver we already picked. It's not going to eliminate a pick or anything. We just
Yeah, who you picking to win?
Kyle Larson.
Chase Elliott.
I guess Andrew would go first.
Denny Hamlin.
I don't know. I haven't given this any thought. Who'd you guys pick? Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin.
Denny
who else?
Hamlin. Chase.
Somebody picked Chase.
I did.
Joe.
Oh, did he? Okay. Fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, who else is gonna pick him?
Yeah. I don't know. Bush.
Brian says Ty Gibbs. Brian Hicks, Ty Gibbs.
Ooh,
You taking Busher? Good pick.
I'll take Bush.
sneaky.
Brian, how was the Darlington race?
Brian did not go to the Darlington race.
What the fuck? I
He
thought
got
it was.
sick. He was, but he got sick.
Wow.
So
What a time.
probably the man flu, where you just feel sick, and you exaggerate it so you don't go because you're a bitch. But
Huh?
Yeah.
just kidding, Brian. Hope you're feeling better, man. But I like the Tiger.
Okay.
Brian, Brian will make a guest appearance here soon. Hopefully
Yeah.
at the 600. I know for a fact he's watching the 600 because he will be at the 600.
There you go.
So
600.
maybe Brian. Yeah,
With
Brian,
2
mark
weeks.
your calendar for the Tuesday after the 600. We'll
Yep.
see you there on the pod.
Okay, and we have an OnlyFans this week. It was actually from last week. I've been diagnosed with COVID, strep, and inner ear infection. That's
Dang,
awful.
Brian. That's a
That
Yeah.
sucks.
wait, but never mind. I'll message you about that later, Brian. So basically cancer. Yeah. Survivor. We're gonna do a fundraiser next stream for Brian's treatment.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Actually, we will be doing a fundraiser this year. Toys
Ooh.
for Tots. So, for frequency's sake, does that every year.
Sweet.
Obviously, it's not until the end of it's in like late November, but we'll start it pretty early. Hopefully, we get Iowa credentials or Chicago, and I'm going to be trying to get teams involved and maybe get some swag to auction off. But yeah. What was I going to mention? I was going to mention one other thing, and I forgot.
OnlyFans.
Oh, funny thing. Yeah, I know, but funny thing. So he says
Oh.
he was diagnosed with COVID and strep. So I was at a job that I worked for years, got new management, it was awful, and I was planning on quitting, right? So instead of putting my 2 weeks notice in, one day I was just like, I don't want to go in. I'm just going to call in sick. I'm like, well, what do you got? I'm like, strep. He's like, well, you have to have a doctor's note then. So I go to the doctor's. I'm perfectly fine. I just didn't want to go to work. They tested me. I have COVID. I'm like,
Shit.
hey guys,
Sorry,
I'm not going to be in
typo,
for
I
2
meant
weeks.
COVID.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So yeah, so that's how I quit my job.
Proud of you.
OnlyFans from Leroy. If there was one off NASCAR exhibition race outside of America, what track would you like to see them race at?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nordschleife.
Yeah.
Easy.
Why not?
Ooh,
That'd
yeah.
be
Yeah,
the
that'd be
full,
crazy.
the
That would
full
be
Nordschleife. That'd be amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
My brain also went. I don't want to steal someone else's answer, but I'm going to. But my other thought was Brands Hatch, just because that's such a historic track. I think it'd be kind of cool, and the elevation change and everything. I feel like that would be really interesting for those cars. But
I think the short circuit would be good.
yeah, ultimately the Nordschleife would be sick.
My two thoughts were Bathurst would be cool, just because they do the supercars there, and then Monza Oval. I know it's not a real thing anymore,
Yeah.
but
I
Monza.
was going to
Oval
say Monza, but then just make sure you don't radio check while you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. Kyle
Watch-
Larson's not allowed
Watch
to,
your
radio.
watch your comms for that one.
Joe, quit touching your mic. God damn.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I just want to go on record here real
Well,
quick
hold
and
on.
point out that Brian said
Right,
Laguna
does he-
Seca.
I know.
or Out of America.
Out of America.
is California
Laguna
no
Seca.
longer part of the union?
Well, that's fair to Brian. I don't think
Yeah.
California is part of America. So
He doesn't.
The car.
Brian Hicks
I
officially
can't-
does not recognize California as a state.
the nation of Brian Hicks no longer recognizes California as a sovereign state of the United States.
So mine would be whatever track they ran back in like '99 for an exhibition race in Japan.
Suzuka.
Suzuka.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That'd be cool.
I
Yeah,
think
it was
Suzuka
good
and
race.
Motegi one time, didn't they?
They did.
Didn't they do
Yeah.
the oval at Motegi?
I think. Yeah. No, they did the road course.
I thought
The
they did Motegi though.
I thought they
once, too.
did the oval too. Yeah.
I think they
Did
did
they?
both.
Yeah,
I think
they
so.
did both.
Or maybe Joe and I
I-
had a fever dream.
I'm talking
I
about
know
the
that
one.
I know they did the oval.
Now I gotta
Somebody
Google it.
wrecked, hit Gordon like in the door, and he ended up winning the race with a just destroyed car. That's the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, that's all I got.
1998 Thunder Special Motegi 500.
Who won that?
Oh God, I don't know. It's just on YouTube's.
But
Brian wants to go to Hoth. Hoth Starbase.
Did Mike
Rainbow
Skinner
Road.
win?
Can we do Rainbow Road?
Mike Skinner won.
I think
Really?
so. Yeah.
Rainbow Road.
Look at that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
My answer. I don't know. You guys kind of picked some of the good ones. Tsukuba would be pretty good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Road course, pretty tight. That'd be pretty interesting. They do have some ovals too over in Europe. What's the one in the UK? Rockingham or something? It's
That's
like
in
a
North
four-
Carolina, but
Yeah. It's the original Rockingham in England land
Yeah.
somewhere.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
The secondary one is probably in England. I think. That's
Okay,
what
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
confusing.
But I think that has like 4 corners, but it's like an oval, so that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. That's really the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head.
There's one other place in, I think it was in Australia. They made like a smaller Indy. Like
They
it had
have
the
a
4
place that
turns,
looks
like
kind
a
of like
square
Charlotte.
looking.
It's called
Yeah,
like
yeah, I do
the
remember that.
Thunderdome. I think it's,
Yep,
it's called like the
that's what it
Thunderdome.
was.
Like super cool fucking name.
Yeah,
that would be
good.
pretty cool.
yeah. It's a good question though.
Yep.
I
Thanks, Leroy, again, as
Per
always.
usual.
Yep. If you want to submit a OnlyFans, you can go to our website, thegwcpod.com, or you can message us on Discord, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere. And while you're doing that, you can
Calder
make sure
Park
to
Thunderdome. That's what it's called.
yeah. But while you're submitting an OnlyFans, you can like, follow, and subscribe to help us out tremendously. If you do
Yeah.
that.
Like, comment, subscribe, baby.
But that is all for this week. Well, no, North Wilkesboro. You guys excited? New pavement,
Yeah.
Oh,
asphalt.
we'll see.
New
It's-
tire.
it's-
Hopefully the
Yeah.
hopefully the car
Yeah.
runs fine.
yeah, I know. It's back to a short track, so it's hard to. It's
we
exciting.
got
for
different
North
tires.
Wilkesboro. Yeah, we'll see how the tires work, but I don't know. We were talking about this earlier in Discord. I just miss the old, all-star race at Charlotte on Saturday night and the Speed Street in Uptown Charlotte. And then you got the 600. It was so fun, but we don't have that anymore. And I miss that.
Yeah.
But now Speed Street is like Friday night at the track and it sucks. So
I do hope we have good enough service to watch the Indy 500 at the 600 tailgate, though.
Yes, that would be nice.
Because that's normally pretty hard to watch when we're out
Marcus Smith, get on it.
there. Yeah, really.
Someone get a Starlink.
Put
that
some big
going.
screen TVs out in the tailgating area.
Last year, there's these guys next to us got free couches off Facebook Marketplace and got a big tent and just had TVs. I'm assuming they had some sort of hotspot and just had TVs set up the whole time. And it was.
I kind of want to try that. I need to find someone with a truck that could bring it out.
I know.
But
yeah,
I'm sure I could find like a love seat that could fit in the.
Dude,
They did that at Road America
$20.
too.
If you could rent a trailer for a couple of days, I can tow it. I got the tow package.
True.
So.
There you
I
go.
got a tow package for you.
Oh yeah, you mean it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, you guys want to wrap this up?
Yes, sir.
I always love
All right.
wrapping it up.
Ooh,
Better
better when you
Huh?
don't.
What? Yeah, you're right. Better when we just keep the episode going. So that's what we're talking about, right?
Yep. All right. Until next week, guys. See ya.
Later.
Bye. I love you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checkered podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWC Pod for the podcast, at Biggles TV for Zach, at ShakenDrake_TTV for Austin, at Picks by Fitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.
Football season may be over, but for frequency's sake, still has you covered for all your sporting needs. Tune in every Sunday when the best professional wrestling podcast around, Cards Subject to Change, gets you caught up on everything inside the ropes. They won't miss a count with weekly analysis and interviews. More into auto racing? We've got a double dose for you on the track. Tune in to Fast Money with Rod Villagomez each week and win some money with the quickest bets in all of sports. Want more insight from Pit Row? Check out the Green, White, and Checkered podcast where they give their insight on everything happening on and off the track. Need your basketball fix? Points in the Paint has you covered with live shows every other week looking at everything in the association. Backed by popular demand, we have the return of The Payoff Pitch, FFSQC's baseball show, covering you on news around the MLB. If you're missing football, don't fret. Mark and Dan still have you covered in the football lounge. Missing Joe Winkle? Probably not, but he's still here talking sports on Educated Ignorance. Football season might be over, but we've still got you covered. For frequency's sake, you know what we mean.
For Frequency's Sake is brought to you by Durham Remodeling, serving the Quad City area's remodeling and repair needs since 1973. Clint's Draft House, grab a bite and a pint. 7th Street Moline. Lopez, New York-style pizza served up by the slice or pie, Davenport. Lifted Energy, energy drinks, coffee, donuts, and more, #GetLifted. Atomic Sports Cards and Collectibles, sports cards and memorabilia, vintage clothing, hats, pennants, and more. Ryan Allison Tattoo, step into the vibrant world of tattoos with Ryan Allison. And A Cut Above, offering quality custom woodwork designed specifically around our customers.